Good day, everyone. This is Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. You are tuned into the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We also have a guest today that's going to be doing a little short document on artificial intelligence and some of the incident that occurred. But our topic today is security questions, and security password questions. Why is it important? Because I have learned that most of the security questions that they ask are basically similar to each other. For instance, banks might, when you create a password, they'll say, well, what was your mother's maiden name? Or what street did you grow up on? Or what was your high school or your best friend? Some of those security questions are the same. And why I chose this topic is because I want everybody to be safeguarded and just don't give out information. You're going to hear some audio today where a candidate that was running for president got her account hacked because all her information to those security questions were online. We'll get to that audio as we proceed to the broadcast. Also, I want the females and males to be on safeguard because, as I explained this the other day to an associate, as well you know, now you have to be careful as to who you communicate with, even if you want to date somebody. If it's a male, he'll pick up a girl, and the girl will say, well, I want to know, tell me a little bit about yourself. I want to know what street you grew up on. I want to know what's your best friend's name. And I'll be like, are you trying to reset my password? That's why you have to be safeguarded. But as we get started, I also want to mention that myself and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams, we're going to take up this topic that I received in an email from a gentleman that's identified as PT in Philadelphia. He wants his name to remain anonymous. And he wants to know about, he started reading the Bible, and he's reading scripture after scripture after scripture. But he specifically asked me, does he need to be baptized in order to get to heaven? And when it explodes at another broadcast. So I just wanted to mention that to you. So if we have any listeners out there that want to call in what we do and start that topic, I would appreciate it if you call in. Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Hey, Dr. Glenn, and to our listening audience on today, we are glad to be here. I believe our subject is cybersecurity passwords, and we also have a guest who's going to talk to us about artificial intelligence. And I might need a little help pronouncing that last name. It's Muhammad
Enough.
Inab. Okay, I got it. Muhammad Inab. We have Mr. Muhammad Inab with us today, and he's going to give us some very good information about AI. And we know, especially those of us that may not be computer literate, we've heard AI and some of the things that could happen concerning AI, which means artificial intelligence, things that are being created. But I've seen a few things online myself that were created by artificial intelligence. I even recently, and I have to share this, and it was very interesting. I saw a video of one of our popular R&B singers, from back in the 70s, and she's up there singing this song, and it had some filthy words in it, and it was AI created. And they have this whole video of her up there singing this song, and it's not her; it's AI created. And they have her voice. I swore it was the Queen of Soul, and it was not her. It was an AI creation. And so you have to. I believe that even today, in today's times, that we have to be extra careful because people can use your voice and do an AI creation and make it seem like you have said things that you've not. We've all even seen particular things, in the political arena that have been recreated, that have had, famous people saying things that they didn't say or addressing things that they didn't address. And so in today's time, you have to be very, very careful because people are trying to mimic and imitate you with AI. Dr. Glenn?
And I thank you for mentioning that because before I have Mr. Muhammad introduce himself, I just want to point out, because of what you just mentioned, I think they have tweaked all the AI systems now so that if you ask a question, it won't give you a kind of a response or reply like that with the explicit language and different stuff like that. So AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, they have tweaked it so it won't give you language with explicit any information or document with explicit language.
And Dr. Glenn, I was going to say, even to that, with these AI creations and people, pretending and making it look like somebody said something that they didn't say, I want to say to you, if you know the person and you know what they stand for, you know, you got to kind of know people, and then that way you can kind of say, well, let's question this. If you know that they have a good moral character, that they operate in righteousness, or they believe in doing things in a positive and good way, and now you see their voice being recreated or used in something that is just foul and just out there, that's outside of their character, you can't question that. And so hopefully, as we get ready to turn it over to our guest on today, Mr. Muhammad, he's going to give us some tips, hopefully, on how we can detect what is an AI creation or anything in that area. Hopefully, he's going to give us some good stuff. I know I'm going to learn some things. I'm ready, and I've got my mind open, and I'm ready, and I hope you're ready, to our listening audience on today, to hear some things about artificial intelligence.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have Mr. Muhammad introduce himself. You might recognize his voice. He's a regular on the police report, first responder show with cybersecurity. Muhammad.
Well, I've been hearing about it. Well, it's just like you said about AIs. Yes, it's true. Some people, it's not them who sings it or say the lyrics. There's also times that some actors someone used AI voice cloning and used it to an actor, and then some people actually believed it was her, but it wasn't her. Most people believed it was just an AI, someone who made an AI of it to make it look like it was her who said it or not. And it wasn't the first time, and it happened like nearly last year and the year before that. It's gonna keep happening. Whoever designed AI is just trying to cause problems from everyone. You see, HP has interacted an email campaign comprising a standard malware payload delivered by an AI-generated drop. The use of generated AI on the dropper is almost certainly an evolutionary step forward. Generally, new AI-generated malware payloads, but it's still a strange. But it's still a bit strange. Why is it not obfuscate?
We I'm sorry, Muhammad. We got 2 minutes, so would you go down to the part where it says general and what is a password, and then we'll go out to break. We'll play our first audio clip and then get into some of the documentation. The part that's highlighted, general. What is a password? Let me give you my copy. I don't know if you have it on yours. That part right there.
What is a password? A password is personal to key to a computer system. Passwords help to ensure that only authorized individuals access computer systems. Passwords also help to determine accountability for all transactions and other changes made to system resources, including data.
Thank you. Jackie, you have anything to add to that?
Yes, Dr. Glenn, which document are we looking at?
I just gave him the one
We're
with
down.
AI.
We're down to one moment. We're getting ready to go out on our first break here. I want to look and see where we are, and we will come back with some comments right after. I know we have some more interesting things to talk about with AI. AI is being used, to copy voices and can be used as malware, is said on the particular document. So we're going to look at that when we come back after this particular break. Oh, we're on a different page. Okay, Dr. Glenn, I'm going to catch up with you in a minute. We're getting ready to go out on our first break. We're going to ask that you come back here with us. You can call in today at 252-756-2008. That number is 252-756-2008. This is Awesome Radio. We'll be right back in a moment.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the ready.
ORG.
Hello, my name is Dr. Wiley Nithon. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation was Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. As I mentioned today, our topic is security questions, and security question answers to some of the security questions that might be asked from your banking institution or several other resources, or even your email. You create a password for your email. They'll ask you to create a set of security questions. I would like for our engineer to play that first audio clip.
Hi, I'm James Boyd, and welcome to Security Matters. Sarah Palin was convinced her Yahoo email account was safe. She'd been running as John McCain's vice presidential candidate for a few months when her email account was hacked. Most of us would be scared to death if people could find out what we write and say to those people we email. But a politician with ambitions of the White House? That would be a dangerous thing politically. Her account was hacked quite easily, and if her account could be jeopardized, so could yours. The person who claims to have hacked Palin's account said he did it by resetting her security question. When you sign up for an email account, bank account, or a website that requires registration, you're often asked to answer a few security questions. Those questions are designed seemingly to help verify your identity. So when you lose your email password, for example, you can reset it by answering the question you filled out. That's exactly what happened to Sarah Palin. After discovering Palin's Yahoo email address, the hacker was able to request that her password be reset. He entered her birthday, zip code, and then answered the security question Palin had chosen to accompany her account. According to reports, Palin's security question asked the place she had met her husband, Todd. The answer? Wasilla High School in Alaska. All of that information was available online. A simple Google search revealed the answers to all those questions within minutes. And in fact, that's exactly how long it took this hacker to gain access to all of Palin's most personal email exchanges. It's illegal to hack someone's email account, but that doesn't mean people aren't trying to do it at this very moment. Think of all the data you have stored in your email inbox. Birthdays, passwords, social security numbers, bank account credentials. Chances are you have a ton of data in your inbox that could easily be used against you if someone were to access your account. The Sarah Palin case illustrates why security questions are important, and the answers even more so. In our next episode, we'll tell you what those are and how you can better protect your data. Look for that on our website at www.securitymatters.iu.edu.
Okay, that was our first audio clip. I hope everybody got a lot of information out of that. The gentleman stated, Sarah Palin's email or account was hacked by using information that was available on the internet, such as her Facebook page or whatever, that listed some of the details or answers to the security questions, like when she met her first husband. That was on one of her social media pages. That's how they obtained the answer to that question. But he also mentioned when you create a username. My username for my personal email account is quite unique because I couldn't use my entire first and last name because that was already taken. And I'm glad it was because now that I think about it, I'm glad I just used that. So my personal email is GLNNJHN, which is a short abbreviation without the vowels, which is Glenn Johnson. Just the GLNNJHN. So when people ask my email, they see that. They say Glenn Johnson. I said, nowhere on there do you see where it says Glenn or Johnson. It just says GLNNJHN. So just don't type Glenn Johnson because that's not what it says. What do you say about that, Jackie?
Yes, we can talk about passwords a little bit here and how to select them. And if you're like me, sometimes I use the same password on everything
And I was
because
just,
I hate to try to come up with a new one, or the one that I had before was good and now it's not working, or I've gotten locked out, can't remember, or something happens to the account and now I got to come up with a new one. So I just start using it all the way across the board. Everything gets the same password.
I'm glad you said that because I just learned that today about a half an hour before getting to the station. And I'm not going to mention her name or the agency that she's employed, but she works for the Pitt County government here in North Carolina. And she said one of her colleagues had to create another password for an account so they wouldn't get hacked because of the sensitive information. So just like you just said, she used the same password for everything on there because she knows nobody is not gonna guess what that password is. And the password wherever she's at, whatever account, is carrots. Because nobody would think that to use carrot repeatedly. Because first, not only do you need the carrot, but you need the username to go with it.
Definitely. And Dr. Glenn, sometimes it asks me to redo the password, and then I still put the same one back in there. To do a new password is getting the same one. I just return the same one
Yeah.
because it's hard to remember things. You know, I remember looking at something for getting, looking at going back to school and looking at the Pell Grants. And I had a password, on that particular app from way back when. I mean, I don't remember what that is. I can't remember. That's been so many years ago.
But here's the thing: what makes your security password really, really safe is if you use 5 letters, 2 or 3 numbers, and 2 symbols, which is what I do. I use 5 letters, 4 numbers, and 2 symbols on all my passwords, so nobody even knows what the symbols are.
Well, they want you to use an uppercase and a lowercase as well as the symbols, and even a number. A symbol or a number
I
is
do
usually
that
what
too.
they want you to do, and that makes it harder. Now, one of the clues or tips that is said here was that you could in the room where you sit or in your particular house, combine a few objects in the room to make a random phrase. So that's something that you'll remember if you're sitting in a particular room in your house. Like you could say, the flowered sofa, if your sofa is blue, green, or a different color, make a phrase that is familiar to you from something that's in the room where you're sitting.
Well, you know what else I do? Since I have so many emails and so many accounts that require username and password, now I have a document on my computer in a folder with all what they call that I use as a login. So all my logins are listed on that document, and that particular folder is locked, it's encrypted. So you even need a password just to open that folder to get to that document.
Well, it said do things like black desk with one phone. If whatever it is that's in the particular room, mug clock light or 3 posters on the wall. If you put those type of things there from where you're sitting, you may be able to remember your password easier.
Yeah, and there is a electronic device that you can pick up from some locations. You can even Google it. It's called Password Vault. It's like a little small device, digital, that you will put all your passwords in. But what happens if somebody get the device and know how to turn it on and gain access to it? Now they have your username and password to all your accounts, including your bank accounts, which is by all means should be protected.
It also suggested to make up a phrase based on a nursery rhyme. That's something that you'll remember. You know, if your password is Mary had a little lamb, you gotta think and be creative with what you're putting there. Something that you use every day, nursery rhyme that you grew up with your kids, or something that you will easily be able to remember. Dr. Glenn?
Thank you for mentioning that because you know what I'm going to do when I get home. I'm going to change all my passwords too. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
That's a good one, Dr. Glenn, or say, I'm tired of the wheels on the bus that go round and round, or something like that.
Or something to that effect, yeah.
Give yourself something very unique, and then people won't be able to guess it so quickly. Just, be creative. I'm going to give you a few more tips when we come back. We're getting ready to go out for a break again here, and we're asking that you hang in here and come back. I'm sure we're going to hear from our guest a little bit more on today, that he may have some things that he wants to add in on this particular broadcast. And so we want you to come right back in. Our phone number at the studio is 252-756-2008. Again, that number is 252-756-2008. Call in. This is Awesome Radio. We're waiting to hear from you. Right back in a moment.
For additional resources or to view our TV program, log on to jashow.org. That's jashow.org.
Hello, my name is Daniel from Greenville. We appreciate you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU Radio in Greenville.
Hi, hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Apostle Dana Lynn Edwards. I am here to invite you to a new show that will be premiering October 5th, 2 p.m. Saturday. It is Ask the Pastor. You can ask questions that have always been on your mind about your Bible and your walk with Jesus. Looking forward to you joining us. Again, that is Saturday, October 5th, 2 p.m.
We're back. You're listening to The Glenn Johnson Show. You can reach Glenn at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams, and our special guest, Muhammad Enab, who's going to be doing cybersecurity and also giving us some information on security questions and passwords. I'm going to go right now back over to Muhammad Enab.
I've seen a lot of security questions that are similar to everywhere I go, like banks, health insurance, pretty much everywhere. I mean, like if it's health insurance, that means that someone may have already gained access to it. Someone else may have already gained access to it and make you pay off their debts with their health insurance, but you may not know it. And besides, the security questions are lacking because all I see is the same questions: where were you born, or what street you grew up in, or like what's your pet's first name or pet's name, or maybe what's your first elementary school do you go to? If those are easy to gain access to, then it may be harder. Then these questions are easy to find, and it's easy for hackers or scammers might take it from you. They might try to take your stuff, take your benefits, and without you being aware of it until it's too late.
And you know what I just thought about when you said that, particularly if you're in your hometown and you're near individuals that you went to school with, they all automatically know some of the answers to the questions because you were classmates. Like, what street did you grow up on? Because they know that. What's your favorite teacher? They probably know that. What's your favorite color? They probably know that. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I've also heard that Eastern Radiologist hacked. Many of their patients have been hacked from their information. It happened on November 2023, but they posted it between April or May 2024. But that's way too late. They didn't just inform this now. That proves that there's going to be hackers and scammers are pretty bold. They're going to be as long as the year change, it's going to get worse every time.
Yeah.
And we've all seen those particular letters coming in, or we've seen them on TV advertised from big companies or well-known companies that we probably have worked with ourselves in saying that there had been a security breach and showing that you may be affected by the security breach, or your information may have been linked with the security breach. So we've all seen those, from popular banks, from, as he said, insurance companies and different places. It could be just your local doctor's office that your particular information could have been leaked out, or someone that was working within the organization, clicked on a phishing link, and that particular that compromised the company system. So we've all seen those particular things, Mr. Muhammad. So I absolutely agree with you.
And this is one reason why, particularly in the military, they used to use the last 4 digits of your social security number, because the military had a system where the last 4 numbers would tell a lot about you. Just those 4 numbers, when they put in a system, would bring up a wealth of information with you. Another thing Muhammad mentioned was doctor's office and hospitals. Doctor's offices and hospitals are not allowed to ask for your social security number. There's no reason for them to need the social security number. So I have a very separate document on that I don't have with me today, but if anybody would like the document, I will email it to you, Muhammad.
Every time people, you see, I keep getting texts about it. How my data has been breached, but they say if I want their help, I have to give them my last 4 digits of social security number. I told them, I give them something 0911.
Wow, Mr. Muhammad, that's the last 4 of my phone number. It literally is 0911.
But that's a sign saying you don't even try to pull a con on me. Besides, if I really believe you, I'd rather meet in person, not online or calls.
Yeah.
Because you never trust. Because who knows? Scammers are everywhere.
That's
Not to
right.
mention, I also found when he called. Besides, the text wasn't in. It wasn't the number. It was actually just saying like an email address. It looks like an email address, but it's not. I'm not sure. So that's definitely a big scam, because if it doesn't show the number or anything else, that's definitely a scam.
And I have to make a confession while we're here today. I personally have had to do the remedial training more than once on phishing, because, at particular organizations, I've clicked on the phishing link and it was not a real email. Sometimes they're getting me by using something that's familiar to me. They'll use a name that is in the organization. Of course, you see that person's name has sent you something saying that they're sending you a card from Walmart or something. You think that's it. They've gotten your attention because it has some real information or something that you're familiar with. So you automatically click on it thinking that it's okay, and it's actually a phishing email.
And that's also why, you might get a call from a certain company, particularly a medical company. Well, Mr. Johnson, this is so-and-so. Had to verify your account. Could you please tell me your date of birth and social security number? I said, ma'am, respectfully, I would not give you that information over the phone. If you have the audacity to ask me that over the phone, you should know by now that half of America don't give that information out over the telephone. So why would you even ask me that? You have a nice day. Thank you for calling. And that's exactly what I tell them.
The newest scam that we're sending you a check. We want you to work for us. And this is one that I've just uncovered and looked at it. They're wanting you to put their decal or the company's decal, one like even from a popular insurance company that's well known. It has the hands on it, like it's like the logo is actually from that company. They send you a check for $2,000,
Yeah.
saying we want you to put this on, this decal. But first we want you to cash the check and deposit it and give it to somebody else. No, don't ever cash a check and give it to somebody else. If they're paying you for something, why do you have to deposit the check and give it to somebody else?
Well, guess what? I got that. I got the check, but it didn't say give it to somebody else. Is it just to cash it, deposit in the account, and give me a call? I call them back. Never got an answer. I text them. I got a response. I took the when I went to the bank with the check. The teller put a code up at the top, left hand corner. So I knew that code meant something. Till this day, I don't know what it means, but that meant something to other banks or other tellers that this check can't be cashed.
Yes, so find out things and look at it. People they're always, especially if they want you to do something with it, that bank, could put that money on hold, or you don't have to. They wanted you to get it directly, take the money right out, withdraw the money from the check right away, and then give it to somebody else, and you're going to be responsible for that check because that check is not good. Your account is going to be over, and you're going to have to pay that money back.
And I'm not going to do that again. And that's still not unless they'll be willing to send me a cashier's check, because a cashier's check is directly from the bank, which means that it's money. Now we have 1.5 minutes to go before we go to the next break. I'm going to have Mohammed mention something. Then when we come back, we'll play the other audio clips. Then we'll get into some more commentary. That'll be today's broadcast. Mohammed.
Well, it's like what she said. I've also got it. One time when I applied to a job on ZipRecruiter, I thought it was a legit, but it was like IT job. But when I found out the job, once I found out the email interview and they sent me their benefits, like how much they offer, $40 to $70 an hour. I find that a bit off. And they said they send me payment check of getting the equipment I need, and that's how I find it awfully strange. So I had to search it up. What's it really about? And the place is actually more of a therapy place. So I said, and not interested. Stop scamming.
That's right, Jackie.
Yeah, so check it out. Don't just run off with anything. You can always Google it online and see if there's a scam concerning that thing, because that's how I found out with that particular check. I looked online and said, is there a car decal scam? I looked right up and there it was, and it explained it just like the letter that they sent me. So don't just run off with things. Check it out. Don't be a victim of something just because you didn't Google it. We're getting ready to go out on another break here. And when we come back, we're going to have a few voice clips that Dr. Glenn has selected for our program on today. And we know we're going to get some good information. You can still call in. It's not too late. 252-756-2008. We're getting ready to come right back. This is Awesome Radio. Hang in there with us. We're looking forward to you coming back.
Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Johnson Show.
And 18.
You're listening to Awesome Radio, WECU 107.5 FM, 1570 AM. Christian media with the spirit of excellence.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams and our special guest, Muhammad Adab. I'm going to ask our engineer if you will go to the remaining two audio clips. Then we'll get back to some of the commentary that we have documents for. Engineer.
In today's video, I will be showing you how to change or update your security questions and answers in Windows 10. So when you set up your local user account on your Windows 10 PC or laptop, you would have been asked to create a username, a password, and then some security questions and answers. So if you need to update these or change the answers because you have forgotten what they are, or you simply just want to change up the questions to keep your PC more secure, then this is something that you can do quite easily. So the first thing you need to do is go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and right-click on the Start menu icon. You now need to go onto Settings. And you now need to click on Two Accounts. You now need to click on Sign In options on the left, and then click on Password. And where it says Update Your Security Questions, you just need to click on here. You will now have a window pop up just to verify it's your account, so just type in your login password for your Windows account. And once you've typed in your password and pressed OK, you will now be able to update your security questions. So you can simply click on the drop down, choose one of these options here. So for example, what was your childhood nickname? Type in your answer. And once you're happy with your new security questions and answers, just simply press on Finish. So if you now go to log into your local user account in Windows in the future and you've forgotten your password, you will then be able to recover your password and get back into your account using these security questions.
Okay, I do. You go to that other one. Then we'll be finished with the audio today. And you can shut that computer down.
Maya Arson, better known online as CrimeU, is best known as the hacktivist who located a copy of the TSA no-fly list on the public internet in 2023. The list was found on an unsecured AWS server associated with Commute Air. It contained personal data on almost 1,000 employees, as well as a file called nofly.csv. That was a copy of the 2019 version of the TSA's famous no-fly list. The Daily Dot's publication of the list sparked massive interest, including calls by prominent activists to address racial profiling and congressional investigations into airline security. So we asked CrimeU 3 of the tech community's most common questions for hackers. Question 1. What exactly is a hacker? While many people associate the term with criminal activity, hacker is actually a very broad term. Although this series centers around computer hackers, a hacker more generally doesn't even have to be someone who focuses on electronic devices. Think of the term life hack or to hack a recipe by swapping ingredients. As CrimeU puts it, a hacker is anyone who finds creative solutions to problems. So in the context of computing, that could refer to finding novel ways into a secure database, or creatively sending instructions to an unsuspecting and ill-prepared device, for instance. Any way into a system that's not purpose-built for a device's owner. Question 2. What one piece of advice would you give to help everyday users stay safe online? It's actually much simpler than you'd think. There's a popular belief that criminals are spending most of their time breaking into individual people's accounts, leading to worry among many. But in reality, most hacks are done at scale. Criminal hackers steal passwords, credit card numbers, and health data, for example, from large databases. So one of the best moves you can make, CrimeU says, is to keep all of your software updated. Sometimes you're worried that an update will introduce a new feature you aren't excited about. We get it. But applying all of your updates, especially those for your web browsers and operating systems, will help keep you from getting randomly hacked. By staying up to date, users can ensure that there are as few as possible old and proven ways into your device. Question 3. Why haven't hackers erased the student debt? According to CrimeU, it's the most common thing people ask of hacktivists. While everything is technically hackable, companies that handle student debt almost certainly have backups of the data in both digital and paper form. There's no one central server that handles all of America's student debt that can be wiped forever. In CrimeU's words, it's not the most feasible thing. There are way more important aspects in which hacktivism could help with student debt, like documenting corruption and potential price gouging in those companies and universities, because there's definitely some shady going on. So the likelihood that your student debt will get nuked by hackers is slim at best. As a reminder, hacking things that aren't yours without permission is illegal. So kids, don't do it. Stay on the right side of the law. And as always, happy web surfing.
Okay, that was the end of our video, of our audio clips that we had available today. But now I want to go to Muhammad, ask him a question about something that the gentleman said. A lot of times people are more inclined or declined to update their computer because it might put some other kind of software in it that they had no intentions on having on their computer. I noticed that happened to me. Or it might change the parameters of some software. Now the software is not working the way it's supposed to.
Well, it depends really. You see, if on your device, it depends on the device. How old was your device?
It was a fairly new device.
Fairly new. Sometimes it may not be legit, though. Whatever it is, the software they are giving you could be a scam. Maybe trying to trick you, trying to gain access to your device of personal information, like a Trojan attack. You may not, and you might have, and there's going to be a third party
Yeah.
or an unwanted guest who wants to see what you're doing, like your personal information, email, everything. I mean, like even your email accounts, you might be able to see it.
And before we go over to Jackie, if we don't get enough to accomplish on this part, we'll wait for the last 10 minutes. But also, I want to ask you, Mohammed, uh, you think like when you want to delete a program off your computer, it might not delete because of the DLL. It might say if you delete this program, it's going to stop this other program from working because the DLL, which is Dynamic Link Library, there's some software that piggybacks off of other software in order to operate.
I'm not sure about that.
I wanted to say, keep one of the things to be safe online or in this new cyber world is to keep your personal information private. As we talked about earlier with the particular political figure who was hacked, they just hacked her by her personal information, things that she had online that they could just look up and see. So keep personal information online. I think we talked about it before, and I know personally myself, we ended up, with someone breaking into our storage area on the back of the house because we posted pictures that we were out of town. So don't put those particular personal information out there. There's nothing wrong with posting your great pics, but wait till you come back to post them so people don't even know that you're gone.
And having said that, Jackie, and listen to the audio clip where Sarah Palin's information was hacked, and I just thought about when I get home, going to all my social media pages, in particular Facebook, and my About page. I know there's a wealth of information on there. My involvement with the military, law enforcement, firefighting. So I want to go on there and delete some of that stuff or make it so it's not visible. Because I'm not even certain, but I know my full name is on one page. I'm not sure if my birthday is on there. And that's what I want to make invisible. Now we're about to go to break in a minute and a half, Mohammed.
Well, let's see. Scammers and hackers are two different things, but they're tricky now. You see, they may try and make it sound predictable, but not all the time. Because this year I've been getting a lot of people asking me if they've been scammed by some sort of offer, and some people impersonate someone's name, hack someone else's name from their work account, and got fooled by it to steal their information. So that's the hard part. We don't know if it's legit anymore. So that's why I recommend if you want to help get the guy's help, meet him in person, not online, because
That's right.
because it could be fishy. Sometimes I can't trust it. I can't trust anybody online anymore.
Right.
You got to be careful who you talk to these days.
Apostle Jackie will take us out to the break. Then we'll be back with our final 10 minutes. Hopefully we'll get a lot accomplished during the last 10 minutes. Apostle.
Yes, it's not too late. We got a last 10 minutes. You can call in again. That number is 252-756-2008. Come on and add something in on our broadcast on today. One more time. That number is 252-756-2008. You'll be live on the radio with us, and we're expecting to hear from you. Come on back. We're giving out some good tips on today, and I'm sure you have some interesting things to let us know. When we come back, Dr. Glenn, I'm going to tell you how I was had. This is Awesome Radio, and we'll be right back with you in a moment.
One evolutionary claim. Declare the glory of God.
For more information, visit David Reeves Ministries at davidreeves.com. DavidRives.com.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Our guest, Muhammad Inab. As going out to the break, Apostle said she had to share something with me about her being had or hacked, one or the other, but I want to hear it. Then we get to our another document. We not might have time to get onto it all, but we might end up doing a part 2 next week. That include the part where the gentleman posed a question to me. Can you enter heaven without being baptized? We might do that for 10 minutes and then get into part 2. Jackie.
Yeah, so I was just going to share with you online, sometimes it looks like you could be ordering from a certain company and it's not that company. So this is also, a way that you're being had. I ordered a treadmill online from a particular company that looked like it was, some of the large distributors, they have vendors that they allow to sell their particular products on their sites or under their names. And so I thought I was ordering, with the confidence that this was a large known company. I ordered it and, I didn't get any return email. When you order online, they'll give you an email saying that your order has been processed, this, that, or the other. It was like the next day. Well, maybe the email is behind and we're just waiting on it or whatever. We had to go and I found out the whole company was just a sham. They were still using these well-known name, but it was just a false company. They were getting our money.
I'm glad you mentioned that because last year, if I'm not mistaken, people had to call Uber because they were getting items that were not edible. But the people were calling to see if they could eat the item since it was delivered by Uber Eats. If you delivered a box of paper towels, of course you can't eat that because it was delivered by Uber Eats and it's usually concerned eating, they thought they could eat the paper towels. I said, you haven't got to be kidding me.
Dr. Glenn, I want the name of those people.
I want their name too because
who thought they could eat paper towel.
I don't want to sound disrespectful or anything, but I want their name too because I'm like, you have got to be retarded.
Well, in some of the 10 most common security questions that we have here is the name of the road that you grew up on. What's your mother's maiden name? We see that on every single one.
That's the one I wish they would get rid of.
Now, there's a lot of people that know your mother's maiden name. So some of these questions are so common until people that know you, or as Dr. Glenn said, that grew up with you, even your adult children in your household that don't live with you anymore can answer your particular security questions. So you need to get some unique ones that are left to speculation that only you would know. What's your favorite place to vacation? If they see you vacationing there every year, it's not too hard to figure out that you like to go to that place.
But I do know there's some individuals out there that don't know their mother's maiden name. They have to call their mom and say, Mom, I'm trying to get into my account. What's your old name again? Because they forgot, because they don't hear it all the time. So he'll call up, Mom, what's your old name again? They don't call it, what's your maiden name? What's your old name?
Or what's your favorite food? If you're online eating seafood all the time, we know that seafood is your favorite food. So it's a lot of common questions that are there that people could guess at or they could answer for you. So get some unique questions, that everybody may not know. Dr. Glenn?
Yeah, the one I had the most problem with is when the banking institutions ask for your mother's maiden name. I think they should do away with that because just in case people might know it. I know a lot of people that I know and grew up with, they don't know my mother's maiden name. Why is that? Because she doesn't have one. She would have had one if she would have married my father, but she chose to not to do that just for that reason. She wanted to remain a Johnson because of my grandfather, who was a reverend minister. So she wanted to pay homage to him, honor him always. So she never got married, just so she wouldn't have to change her name.
Your password should be a secret. It shouldn't be something that everybody knows. Sometimes, especially with older people, like when my mother was living, I used to have to help her, make those passwords. And I know some of my, nieces and nephews helped her make the passwords to her Facebook accounts, and she didn't know it. She didn't know what it was, but she knew how to use the account. She just didn't know what her password was.
Yeah, Mom, we have 5 minutes for the remainder of the broadcast. You have anything else to add?
Just about the artificial intelligence. It may be true that it is strange a bit of why these aren't abstracted, but why did the attackers not remove the comments? Is it because the conclusion strengthened the possibility that the attackers is a newcomer using a generated AI, and that perhaps it is because he or she is a newcomer, that AI generated script was left up obfuscated and fully commented. Without the comments, it would be almost impossible to say the script may or may not be AI generated. We've known that some of the time that AI generated could be used as generated malware.
And with 4 minutes remaining, before I give it back over to Apostle to close out today's broadcast, could you give us an audience a little description of encrypted versus decrypted?
Well, encrypted is like this. If you're trying to encrypt the files, it makes it harder for hackers or anybody to gain access to. But if you know some hacker who's professional who knows how to decrypt to decipher the encrypted files, it might be easy for them to find what they're looking for. So in other words, encrypted means it's hard to wait. It's hard for people won't be able to gain access to it easily. But decrypted is way like they can easily decrypt what's encrypted to gain information easily.
Oh, thank you.
But but of course it might take a long time for that to happen if they're that professional.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Muhammad. And we're down to our final 3 minutes. Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Yes, I wanted to say to, those that are out here that sit around trying to hack other things, I'm sure that you could find something better to do. I just want to say to you today, there's something else that you could be doing besides trying to hack people's account. And one of the things that it said there was, why aren't they erasing debt when they're hacking these accounts? Why aren't they wiping out things? Could hacking be used for something good? But, there's always backup files with all that information there. I often see them just hacking to cause trouble, as we saw with the large company with the airlines and what was happening with the flights and, the mistakes. And there is also right now talk of that going on now with some large companies.
But Jackie, you mentioned about erasing this kind of debt, that kind of debt, and I would definitely do a part 2 because the last audio that the engineer has, it explains why these hackers have erased student debt, which is the most important debt in this country. So I'll give it back over to Apostles to close out today's broadcast.
Yes, and they're saying that there's some indications right now going on of some large companies being hacked, and we're seeing in some of the stores where people are buying out and buying things because they're in fear about systems going down, and some things that are rumored online that are saying that you need to have cash on hand and draw out some money and make sure you have some because things are getting ready to go bad. Let me tell you something. We're in the hands of the Lord, and nobody can pluck us out. He made this world and he's in charge of it, and he's not going to allow the enemy to take over everything. So I want you to be at peace and understand that your life is in his hands. And, he's been taking care of us all this time, and he's going to continue to take care of us because he's a God that keeps his promises. Dr. Glenn?
That's right. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening today. I'm sorry that we couldn't get into a lot more discussion on some of the documents that we have, but I promise we'll do a part 2 next week to get to some of the things that we didn't get to, because I do want to play the audio and get more documents on why some of these hackers have erased the student debt, things like that. So join us next week if you can. I'll give it back to Jackie, who will close out today's broadcast.
Hey, we want to thank our guests for being on and coming on, Mr. Muhammad, today. We really enjoyed you and your input, and we want to invite you to come back here right now next week to the Dr. Glenn show, the Glenn Johnson show, Motivations with Glenn and Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We're going to have some more interesting and good content on next week. It's going to be just as